News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis. Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
Brought to you by Squid Motors. Every vehicle you purchase from our showroom comes with a free 10-foot live squid in the trunk. Get even more than you bargained for at Squid Motors.
Well, and I'm happy to say, too, this is one of those businesses that hasn't been disrupted by the supply chain.
No. Calamari will be served at my house on Tuesday.
Absolutely. And welcome to Tool Talk Radio, coming to you from the Brown Refrigeration Studios. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry and Wood Turning.
I'm Allan Gilbreth with darkoakmedia.com.
And behind the glass, we don't have Max today. Max is a little under the weather, but we got Bud from Motormouth, who's going to be chiming in. Not too often, Bud. Don't take over the show. Anyway, you don't look at me that way. You can call or text us at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling Hot with Max today. Max is a little under the weather, but we got Bud from Motormouth, who's going to be chiming in. Not too often, Bud. Don't take over the show. Anyway, you don't look at me that way. You can call or text us at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling Hotline at 901-683-0989. And, of course, we invite you to go to the Tool Talk Radio Facebook page. Give us a like. Check things out over there. And join the Tool Talk family and everything. Just kidding, Bud. We actually do want you to weigh in. Bud is very knowledgeable when it comes to fixing things with, any problems with your car. And I suppose there's probably some overlap in this field. So, we definitely want you to chime in, Bud. We've got other people chiming in today, Allan. It's one of those revolving door days with the guests coming in. We got our buddy Mike Serapholian from Tri-State Interiors is going to be here shortly. And then a new friend of the show, Judith Bell. She's an empowerment agent.
Okay.
I've never seen that on a business card. An empowerment agent. Is that although I know she's also heavily involved with the West Tennessee Home Builders Association, who are great friends of the show. So we're going to talk to her about all of that. Allan, we definitely got to get to your 30 years of stupid collapsing closets.
Oh, yeah. This happens a lot more often than one would think.
I think that's a name of a punk rock band from the 70s, too. So we're going to do that. I'm not teasing anything else because there's too much going on. Although, trust us, folks, we have our must-have item of the week. We have some discussion that you're going to want to definitely stay tuned for. And, of course, like we said, we'd love to talk to you on the Big M Roofing and Remodeling Hotline at 901-683-0989. So it's all coming at you today on Tool Talk Radio. But before we get to any of that, never mind. Bud doesn't know about the salute music.
Dun, 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 dun. All right, go, Joe.
It's time for our salute of the week. Okay. Sometimes something happens that is utterly transformative. It's different notice. The evening of December 30th, 1924, was a transformative moment in astronomy when Edwin Hubble made the discovery that the Milky Way was not the only galaxy, but that there were, in fact, billions of other galaxies in the observable universe. When the first talking movie, The Jazz Singer, debuted in 1927, it was a transformative moment in cinema. When Max, the producer, finally moved into the new state-of-the-art studios here at 98.9 FM, it was a transformative moment for him when he realized that the upgraded control board now had a feature which allowed him to change the voices of the on-air hosts to sound like Mickey Mouse, SpongeBob SquarePants, or the Emperor from Star Wars if he felt that the hosts were not being entertaining enough. That would have played better if Max was here. But
that's true.
He hasn't activated those features
yet.
He's
been kidnapped by Ewoks.
And, of course...
He's been kidnapped by Ewoks.
And, of course... Allan Gilbreth often likes to recall one of the most transformative moments of his own youth, back when he was 5 years old and the day he was given his first ever Superman comic book, where he met on those pages an inspirational fictional character who would serve as a role model for him and inform his conscience for the rest of his life. Allan's hero and mentor, Lex Luthor.
Well, yeah. Even got the hairstyle, baby. Even got the hairstyle.
In the world of woodworking, craftspeople throughout millennia have fashioned some truly remarkable works of art. There's that hard left turn again, Allan. And yet, even the most impressive of these creations will look incomplete until they receive that final transformative finish that will bring out the beauty of the wood grain just beneath the surface. My friends, we give you wood stain.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the music. This is a weird salute. We're going to come back and talk about wood stain, I guess. 98.9 The Roar of Memphis. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
Did somebody say boom?
News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis.
That's about how it's going this morning, Allan.
That one always makes me happy. I don't know why.
I don't know. And welcome back to Tool Talk Radio, coming to you from the Brown Refrigeration Studios. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry, and Wood Turning, here with my buddy Allan Gilbert from Geeky Side TV, and our pal Bud behind the glass. Max is under the weather, but he'll be back with us next week. You can call or text us at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling Hotline at 901-683-0989, or go to the Tool Talk Radio Facebook page. Give us a like. I've already posted the must-have item of the week, Allan. So if you have no patience and you love spoilers, go over there now and you'll find out before everybody else what the must-have item of the week is. So, Allan, our salute of the week, which is wood stain. Which is interesting because I didn't even bother saying, and normally I would say, and in the year such and such,
right,
they invented such and such. Well, you can't do that with wood stain. Wood stain's got an interesting history, and I like picking on things that have that ancient history to them. So, I mean, wood stain goes way back, Allan, even before you were born.
To the very first words, just rub some dirt on it.
Yeah, literally,
oh my gosh, from, I guess, the very earliest stages of woodworking forward, lost in the mist of time, we like colors, we like designs, we like decorating our cave, if you will. And the one thing that people would have noticed immediately, so let's say we just picked up a stick and carried it around.
Right.
Well, eventually where you hold it wears down, so let's say we just picked up a stick and carried it around.
Right.
Well, eventually where you hold it wears down, becomes smoother, and becomes stained with the oils from your body.
Good point. Yeah.
And, well, congratulations. Welcome to, I probably guess, the earliest form of woodworking. Because that's just plain out and simple how it went.
Funny you should say that, Allan, because one of the things I do with woodworking too is because that's what I do, folks. I work with wood, and for example, you make something out of wood. Even if you just have a board. Let's suppose you have a straight piece of wood. If you take a wet rag and you rub it across it, all of a sudden it's like this magical thing. All the grain just pops out, and you see all of this. And somebody probably got the nifty idea. They put water on it, then it evaporated, and then all that stuff disappeared. And they thought, well, if I could put something on there that doesn't evaporate, or that just, like you say. So,
well, we're gonna cross over into the art world of, if you think back to some of the greatest works of art throughout history. We'll pick on Da Vinci and folks like that. They didn't run down to the local craft store and go buy a tube of acrylic paint.
Right.
They went and got some linseed oil, and they found something that made a color.
Sure.
Now, the problem throughout history is what made that color.
Yeah, it's fun. Well, I got my list here, Allan, because some of these things, and I don't know when they go back to, but for example, here's one. It says you can take an iron nail and soak it in vinegar, and it makes a gray kind of ebony stain.
Yes,
and you put that on.
Aging, yeah.
But then again, it's rusty. I don't know. I guess what did the woodwork smell like back in those days? I don't know. I guess eventually
let it air out like any other woodwork.
Yeah.
If you go down to your big box store and get a big box brand of wood stain, it's got out like any other woodwork.
Yeah.
If you go down to your big box store and get a big box brand of wood stain, it's got an odor.
Right. So, a lot of it comes from plants.
Yes.
I mean, that's sort of a no-brainer. I'm even thinking, I don't know, this is your wheelhouse, Allan. Would a strawberry be a good thing to get color out of, or is it too watery?
Anything with color.
Okay.
Anything with color. Because here's the thing. Not only do you work in this, but you may also work in this in layers. So if layer one didn't get it done, you just did it again, and you did it again.
Yeah.
Because as you know from woodworking, it's going to absorb so much material, and it's done.
Right.
And then the real trick is in the wiping it off, the buffing it down, and seeing what you got.
And then, of course, top coating it, which is another thing that kind of was a more natural thing. Like I'm looking at this list here, Alan. It says like a beeswax.
Yes.
I've used seed oil is another one that and really I think it's almost whatever you pull out. Some people would take paint and they water it down, which I've done myself.
Mm-hmm.
It is really, you can be very creative when it comes to stains and everything. So I guess that's another one of those types of topics where you don't necessarily have to just, you could march to the beat of your own drum on stain. I mean, there's so many different ways to address it. So
anything that imparts color can technically be a stain.
Yeah.
Now, today, when you run down to your big box store or your paint supply, or better yet, a furniture refinishing store that has the really serious waxes and stuff, these are amazingly complex chemical combinations really specifically designed to impart color to the wood. It's going to do a really efficient job.
Yeah.
And earlier, when you went and got a sack full of pokeberries because you wanted to make something kind of purple or blue, this was a process of boiling a botanical, and it might even be poisonous. Some of the prettiest colors came from things that were not so good for you.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to do a deep dive into stain and maybe even paint, maybe next week, Alan, because there's so many. If you research it. And plus that stuff you and I work with all the time. And stain is something that most people will stain or paint for sure. Things people are going to deal with in their own life, and to have some to have a handle on how to work with it, because I've seen stains done badly. I've seen things that are not finished correctly, and it's so I think it behooves us to do some stain talk. So,
definitely.
Okay. Hey, before we get to that, we've got a guest coming in any minute. Weather's going to turn shortly.
A little bit.
It's another one of those weird days. The temperature is going up and down. I don't know what it's, our
welcome
house.
to the Mid-South. We'll have at least 2 seasons in one day.
Yeah. So when that happens, of course, you need your HVAC system to be working properly. And also, I've been sneezing a lot, and I think it's just the stuff in the air.
Yes.
Plus I've been working with sawdust, too.
Yeah, quite a bit of that.
I've been doing a lot of sanding on this job I'm on. So anyway, but you want the air kept clean in your home. So the people that you need to talk to is Brown Refrigeration. They've are really when it comes to HVAC, Alan, they're the name of it. They're
pretty
the
cutting edge.
Yeah, they're cutting edge. They're the people you want to talk to, and they're just a lot of fun to work with too. Their technicians are great.
Yes, they are.
I like how attentive they are, because let's face it, if you have an HVAC problem, you don't want to be dragging your feet. You want somebody that you have confidence in, and HVAC problem, you don't want to be dragging your feet. You want somebody that you have confidence in, and their technicians are just they're the best. So give them a call at 901-362-1881, or go to their website brownref.com, and also ask about the Remy Halo system.
Absolutely. Keep that air of junk free.
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically it gives you the power of the UV germ killing power of the sun inside of your own HVAC system, and you'll notice when you go into a home that has a Remy Halo system, you don't smell anything. Literally, you don't smell any, which is what you want.
It's actually a little odd in the complete absence of smelling. You're kind of like something's missing, and it's the stuff floating around in the air.
Yeah, I don't smell mildew. I don't smell damp. I don't smell that bacon that was just cooked, 4 hours ago. So anyway, good having Larry back on the show soon as he gets a free minute. But we do have somebody else on the show. Alan, it's time to introduce our good buddy Mike Serapholian, who I still do not know how to spell his name. I try if I'm not looking at his business card.
It starts with an S. How about that?
Anyway, hey Mike, Mike with Tri-State Interiors. Hey Mike, welcome back to the show, man.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all doing?
Oh, good. We it's just sort of a weird time of the year right now, Alan. It's I don't know. It's that. It's the type, there's projects all over the map. Sometimes, like when I grew up in Chicago, Mike, there were those winter projects and there were the summer projects, and they never, I don't know. Don't look at me that way, Allan.
Yeah, I know.
But you're pretty much in the thick of things year round, right? Because, kitchen and bathroom remodeling, that's,
Yes, sir. It's it kind of slows down around the holidays, time of year, right after the holidays. It's a great time to start planning for those remodeling projects. The kids are in school now. Maybe you want to wait till the summer. Don't wait till April or May to call me.
Oh, boy. Yeah, we know about that.
And then expect it to be done by, the start of school.
You're right.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, Mike, because, this a kitchen and bathroom remodel is a big deal. And it's not just one of these where you go, well, next week we want to just jump in and start. This is a process, right?
Yeah. Obviously there's those guys out there that, they can come in and do it really fast and, but it might not be done correctly, or it might not be exactly what you want. And so planning, especially with the supply chain issues, is paramount.
Yeah. Well, one of the things we're always,
especially with the supply chain issues, is paramount.
Yeah. Well, one of the things we're always discussing here on the show, Mike, is the fact that you've got really two focuses. Well, I guess you got a few, but one is craftsmanship. That's like if this was a pyramid, you're that at the top of the list is craftsmanship, and then keeping a low overhead. Which I don't know if we sell that enough, Allan. When we're talking about keeping a low overhead, it's just there's a lot of bells and whistles that maybe other companies have, and who's paying for that? The customer, right?
The customer is. You go into a store and they have this massive, beautiful showroom, really impressive, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're paying for it,
right?
In their pricing, and so we have we've made partnerships. Like if you want to look at Dow Tile and Emser have showrooms. And if it is to Allan, if I have a showroom that I'm paying for and I'm buying all the samples for, and it's Dow Tile and Emser, and Allan comes in and I've got to mark it up X amount to pay for my showroom, when I could just say, hey, Allan, meet me down here. And you can see everything that they make, not just what I have in my store.
Yeah, well, exactly, and so that's the thing. At the end of the day, that's what you're paying for. But one thing I like in your approach too, there's two other things. So you don't begin any work until every component is in your warehouse, right? Which
yes,
and people might think, well, it does, okay, so what? Well, trust me, folks, we've been on jobs where that's not the pop. There's some companies where they're just eager to get started. Well, when your kitchen's halfway taken apart, and they realize that the sink that's supposed to go in, it won't be in for another 6 weeks. You're without a, right? We've seen those scenarios.
Yeah, it's,
where they're just eager to get started. Well, when your kitchen's halfway taken apart and they realize that the sink that's supposed to go in, it won't be in for another 6 weeks. You're without a, right? We've seen those scenarios.
Yeah, it's, so take the kitchen remodel, for example. You can, all right, we're going to start demo. Okay, great. You can't cook in there. There's there's no stove. There's no microwave. There's no countertop to prepare the food on.
There's no floor.
Depending on how extensive it is. Yeah. So people have set up, folding tables in the garage with the coffee maker and the microwave, kind of as a makeshift thing. But, by waiting until we have everything in the warehouse, that means we can hit the floor running. Demos this day, electricals the next day, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, and especially these days when everybody's talking about the whole supply chain, and we like the fact that you try to get suppliers that are here in Tennessee and even in town a lot of times.
Oh yeah,
so, yeah. That makes a big difference. We're kind of helping the local economy, and it also is quicker service, and you're supporting smaller businessmen, which is it's cool. It's the cycle of life, Allan. So.
The cycle of remodeling. Anyway. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna continue to unpack that. We're gonna talk about kitchen and bathroom remodeling with Mike Serapholian from Tri-State Interiors, and also Mike has brought us 30 years of stupid, Allan.
Excellent.
We're gonna get to that later. You're listening to Tool Talk Radio here on News Talk 98.9 The Roar, Memphis. We'll be right back.
Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
What is the most inspiring thing I ever said to you?
Don't be an idiot. Changed my life. Whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, I do not do that thing.
News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis.
That's how Mike starts.
Walks out, looks at
Exactly.
the warehouse and goes, all right, guys, seriously.
Hey, don't do anything stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, good
Or
advice.
try not to.
And welcome back to Tool Talk Radio, coming to you from the Brown Refrigeration Studios. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry, and Wood Turning, here with my buddy Allan Gilbreth from darkoakmedia.com, and our buddy Bud behind the glass and in place for the ailing Max, who's under the weather this week. And we got our buddy Mike Serapholian from Tri-State Interiors. You can call or text us at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling Hotline at 901-683-0989. And, of course, we invite you to go to the Tool Talk Radio Facebook page and give us a like and shoot us messages that way. And, in fact, Allan, if they miss any of Tool Talk Radio, you probably have links going on over there.
All they got to do is take their little browser and head straight over to tooltalkradio.com. They can see all of our past episodes. Click on all of our extraneous things.
Over there.
All they got to do is take their little browser and head straight over to tooltalkradio.com. They can see all of our past episodes. Click on all of our extraneous things, and there is a big Spotify button on there.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we are portable. We can go with you, literally, Joe, around the world.
Yeah, think of that. And when we've had a few people,
I have had people contact me from Germany, Australia, the UK, Canada, and most recently the Dominican Republic.
Yeah. Now,
That's awesome.
If you're listening to us from outside of the United States, we'd love to get a message from you.
Send
in
us
here.
an email. We want to hear from you.
Yeah. Now, Mike, does Tri-State Interiors serve the Dominican Republic? Are you? I know you have a big service area, but
I mean, depends on how big of a job now.
all right.
I
Sorry,
say
Jose.
depends on the paycheck.
Yeah. Anyway, hey, so we've been talking to our buddy Mike Serapholian with a Tri-State value of your home. It's going to change your life, but also it is the most disruptive of all the remodeling. So you need to make sure you have a company that understands the whole process and understands and is going to save you money, because I've noticed, Mike, with kitchen and bathroom remodeling, you get if you get quotes from like 5 or 6 different companies, it could be tens of thousands of dollars difference, right, in price?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's so many variables to the estimating process. So you could have one guy that says it's going to be $10,000, and you could have some guy that says it's going to be $50,000.
Right.
And, it's just what kind of overhead do they have?
Right. Well, that's the thing, because we've talked about the fact that you keep a low overhead and you focus on craftsmanship, and also one thing that's kind of interesting. We were talking about this at the break. Like, you keep a low overhead and you focus on craftsmanship, and also one thing that's kind of interesting. We were talking about this at the break. You talked about the relationships that you formed with a lot of these local. You source things locally as much as possible, right?
Yeah. So, as far as like the kitchen, the cabinets, we sell cook cabinets. They're made in East Tennessee. Dow Tile is based in Dixon, Tennessee. They make tile and quartz countertops. And so we'll buy the quartz from them and fabricate it here in Memphis. And then, you have Delta Faucets up in Jackson. So when you're talking about, some people are having issues with supply chain. It happened this week where I called my Dow Tile rep, and I said, "Hey, Corey, I need a sample of this." No problem. I had it in my hand in 2 days. I probably know them personally, and so they, when I say, "Hey, can you help me out with this for Allan's kitchen remodel?" Yeah, absolutely. I got you.
Yeah, it makes a difference. I mean, you've got those people, Allan, on speed dial, just like those.
Oh, my phone is a treasure trove of who to call when something goes south.
And in addition to that, Mike, it's probably a lot of added value beyond the fact that you've got maybe easier access to supplies or something. It's just like if you've got questions, if you maybe they need to educate you on the certain properties of a particular tile or whatever. You just, it's nice to be able to pick up the phone and just call somebody and get those instant answers.
I had a situation last fall where there was the homeowner had a concern about a cabinet, and my rep lives in Paducah.
There you go.
Well, what they saw as the issue and educate. So,
well, how about that? So, yeah.
Wow.
Well, exactly. So, I mean, these are really just kind of basic, we showcase all these things that you do with Tri-State Interiors, but honestly, Allan, it's just basically solid, good business practices.
Well, good old-fashioned customer service. And it's a relationship because nothing travels faster than bad news.
No kidding.
However, as we all know, looking each other in this business, the minute you buy something that turns out to be your new toy, so you get a new shiny new bathroom. Mm-hmm. What is the first thing you do anytime anybody walks in the house?
Oh, yeah.
You got to show them the new toy.
Yeah.
And if it's pretty and shiny, that is the single best accolade and the best advertising you could ever get.
Yeah, and it probably winds up all over social media, right? I mean, they're going to, well, hey, speaking of technology, one thing I like with what you guys do is your 3D renderings, because, we talked about it being a process to remodel your kitchen or bathroom. Well, the obviously the first step is the design process, right? I mean, so, and that's cool. I love the high tech aspect, and honestly, it gives you a much better, it gives you a much better feel for what your kitchen or bathroom's actually going to look like. Because I mean, we remember the days when you had to make blueprints and you had to draw everything up, and even that does not really convey the feel, even if you're in the business. But these 3D renderings are great.
Oh yeah, it's very helpful. Because, not everybody is like you, me, and Allan that can visualize something, abstract. Oh, it's going to be, this is going to be over here and it's going to look like this. Some people can't conceptualize that.
Right.
And so it really gives them a unique tool to be able to help them with that. And furthermore, then they can say, "Oh, hey, I don't like that. 3 drawers right there. I want it to be 4 drawers." And okay, couple clicks. How about it now?
It's just much easier too. The design, I mean, the technology does help, man. And it's like, and then the fact that they can download it, they have it on their computer, they have it on their phone, and then they go and they talk to people, and then they talk to they get input from everybody.
Well, this is why I love to tell everybody, if you're planning on doing this in the summer, start now. Let's get the preliminaries done. Let's get the layout going so you can start thinking about it and you can start making changes and making up your mind that this is what you really, really want. Because the minute you have this technology at your
Mike Serapholian with Tri-State Interiors. We're going to take a quick break and then continue the discussion about kitchen and bathroom remodeling. And I guess Mike is going to regale us with 30 years of stupid.
Oh, I'm ready.
You're listening to Tool Talk Radio here on News Talk 98.9 The Roar, Memphis. We'll be right back.
Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
Pay the price for your lack of vision.
News Talk 98.9, The Roar of Memphis.
Yeah, Allan, anytime you have a lack of vision, you do pay the price. So,
what is it, the old thing? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Yeah, you only do that once with this guy, though, anyway. And welcome back to Tool Talk Radio, coming to you from the Brown Refrigeration Studios. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry and Wood Turning, here with my buddy Allan Gilbreth from darkoakmedia.com, and our pal behind the glass, sitting in for the ailing Max, and our pal Mike Serapholian from Tri-State Interiors. You can call or text us at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling Hotline at 901-683-0989, or go to the Tool Talk Radio Facebook page, give us a like, check out the must-have item of the week, see what's going on over there, and if you've got any interesting tidbits involving home improvement, definitely send us messages. We'll broadcast them to the world from our Facebook page.
Oh, yes.
Hey, Mike, we haven't told anybody. We've been talking about kitchen and bathroom remodeling, but we haven't told anybody how to get in touch with you yet. So what's the best way to reach out to you?
You can call or text 901-409-1333. You can send me an email, mike@tristateinteriorsllc.com, or you can go to our website and we have a get an estimate button, and that will just at tristateinteriorsllc.com, or you can go to our website and we have a get an estimate button, and that will just they'll ask for your information and we'll give you a call.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Mike, are you gonna? We're gonna. I think we've already announced this, Allan. We're ramping up for the next home show of the Mid-South at the Agri Center. In fact, Mike, I think that's where we met you. We met you at the 2021 show, I believe.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But we'll be set up there. The Tool Talk Radio booth will be set up there. We'll have we're gonna get swag, and Mike's always been really good about giving us Tri-State Interior swag. Are you gonna be camped out there this year?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We got a same place as we were last year. Got a 10 by 30 booth and just have a big old time over there.
Awesome.
It's fun. People check it out. It's I don't know the website. It's easy. Just Google it. Home show of the mid-27th, I think. Don't quote me on it. I probably should have that information in front of me, Allan, if I'm promoting it.
It's the 25th or the 27th.
Okay. Hey, we've been talking about, kitchen and bathroom remodeling, and we lean heavy on the kitchen end of things, but in improving or remodeling a bathroom, those are also key areas, Mike, right? I mean, so what sort of drama do you run into with that, like with a bathroom remodel?
Oh boy. Are you wanting horror stories?
No, I'm just wondering. Well, it's a different. I mean, a lot of people have more than one, so that's helpful, I would think.
Yeah. So the bathroom is usually the least painful, just because, like you said, you have more than one. So if one's not working, you just, instead the kids taking a shower in their bathroom, they might come shower in your bathroom.
Right.
So,
okay. Well, that wasn't very dramatic. Okay. Well, that wasn't very dramatic. So anyway, but yeah, but it's still when you walk into a house, you notice the kitchen, and let's put it this way: you notice the bathrooms if they're really out of date or if they're not updated.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So it's one of those that you have to do it. So I don't know.
Yeah, if you had the Macaulay Culkin kitchen with the tile countertops, that died in the 80s.
Yeah,
it's time to replace it.
Yeah.
Well, the biggest thing I think when you're especially looking at a home these days, especially with the real estate market so hot, anything you can do that gives yourself an advantage. And I'm also going to throw in, just treat yourself.
Yeah, why does this have to do with moving out?
Right. Well, it has that twofold purpose. You really can't lose money unless you go crazy in your kitchen and your bathroom.
Yeah. Well,
because that preserves the value of your home.
An extended period of time, you're going to get the value from that investment.
Yes, it's a twofold win.
I'd tell people, when they say, well, we want a kitchen remodel or we want a bathroom remodel, and they're debating on what to do, I say, how long do you plan on staying here?
Mm-hmm.
If it's over 5 years, do whatever you want.
Yes.
Whatever you like. If it's under 5 years, if you're planning on selling in the next year or two, you might want to do what's on trend.
Right. Yeah.
So
the other thing too, Mike, I'm thinking one of the values of having you come in, especially for these initial consultations, is Allan, we've talked about legacy thinking. You walk into a home, or maybe you live with you've lived at this home for 15 years, and there's just the kitchen has always been this, or that hallway has always been that. Well, you get somebody with a fresh approach that comes in and they say, you know what, if you remove this pantry right here or here, you've suddenly doubled your space or something. And a lot of people don't look at their home objectively, or they don't look at all the possibilities maybe. And, having somebody like you come in, that's a real advantage, right? I mean,
yeah, it's, to get a fresh set of eyes really can help you, if you're kind of, well, I want to do something, but I don't know what I want to do, or, look at your family dynamic. Like, for example, my house. My grandparents are in their 80s. My mom is approaching her senior years. And I have my house had the 2-foot wide 1980s bathroom doors.
Yeah.
And I'm remodeling the bathroom, and I said, you know what? My folks are getting older. They might be in a wheelchair. Let's widen this door to be in a wheelchair. Let's widen this door to be wheelchair accessible.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, and some people might not realize you can actually do that. They don't think about all the modular features of your home. So,
well, exactly, and this is a huge thing to consider. And I'm also going to point out that a lot of times the original, and again, we're going to pick on legacy thinking for just a moment, that original bathroom layout is often the worst possible layout it could be. Mike, you guys can't see him, but he is rolling his eyes and smiling as he walks in and goes, the amount of wasted space.
A lot of the houses that you buy, the builder, God love them, nothing against them, it's whatever was cheapest.
Yeah. Yeah. Or and then you walk in and you've seen these, I'm sure you've seen this too, where it's like everything is compartmentalized.
Whatever was cheapest.
Yeah. Yeah. Or and then you walk in and you've seen these, I'm sure you've seen this too, where it's like everything is compartmentalized. There's a door to this, there's a door to that, there's a thing here, there's a whatever. Yeah. And people gravitate these days to a more open floor plan, right? I mean, they don't want walls and barriers and things like
exactly.
that. Exactly. So and it's important to know that when you come in. So, Mike, tell us once again, how do people get in touch if they want to consult, if they want to get this 3D rendering, if they want to get the whole process going? How do they get in touch with you?
You can call or text me, 901-409-1333. Shoot an email, Mike at tristateinteriorsllc.com, or just go to our website, tristateinteriorsllc.com, and we have a get estimate button.
Yeah, and you guys have a big, like we say, you have a big footprint. You have a big service area. It's Tri-State Interiors for a reason. What's the farthest job you've ever done? Because I know you serve
Missouri. The furthest job that we've done was down in Louisiana, in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right. Well, let's try to get him to the Dominican Republic, because we got our friend Jose that listens out there. Maybe
we have several friends out there now. So.
Jose, Mike is on the way. He's going to help you out, man. So anyway, hey, Mike, we're going to shift gears a little bit, as is our want. It's Allan brought us a 30 years of stupid story, but you've brought us one too. So we're going to let you go first. So tell us your and we're not going to get sued, right? You're not going to name names?
No names.
Okay. All right. So what happened, sir?
All right. So I have a friend in Bartlett that called me about their shower leaking in his second floor bathroom over the kitchen, and they had water leaking into the kitchen. Okay, no problem.
Quick question. Is it a shower or a bathtub with a shower?
I'm sorry, it's a bathtub with a shower.
Yeah. So second store shower. Bath.
Okay, no
Quick
problem.
question. Is it a shower or a bathtub with a shower?
I'm sorry, it's a bathtub with a shower.
Yeah.
So
second store shower. Bath. Have they ever not leaked, Allan? It's always a drama.
I haven't found one yet.
Okay. So go ahead, Mike.
So anyway, they wake up. There's water sitting on the stovetop.
Oh boy.
Wow.
And so they call me Sunday morning. Hey, can you give us
buddy,
some
can
advice?
you come by? Yeah.
And
I hope they turned the water off, but go ahead.
Well, what it turned out to be was just the water from the shower. But anyway, they called the insurance, their insurance. The insurance sent out a insurance recommended vendor contractor, and the contractor said, well, we'll replace and put fresh popcorn on the damaged part of the kitchen ceiling, not addressing the root cause.
I was going, wait a minute. There's
what was the root
in
cause
between these 2 points?
Yeah. And furthermore, I looked at the
you got to cut out the sheetrock from the. I'm making a checklist here too. Make sure the rafters aren't holding water, but okay.
Yeah.
Joe immediately leapt to life on this one, going, whoa,
Yeah.
wait a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, so I saw their estimate, and I'm like, okay, first off, they don't mention anything about sealing the shower, recaulking it in their estimate. They told you that verbally. And second off, all they're going to do is replace the little bit of damaged drywall in the kitchen and paint it.
But what was the root cause, you think? I mean, that's what I'm wondering.
So the
showers can leak all over the place. So,
well, no, but the caulk where the shower panels had met, was gone. It was pulled out, broke, whatever. And so, and we're going to be digging into this in the coming weeks, but or in the coming week rather. But water had seeped behind those panels underneath the tub and is likely sitting underneath the tile. And with it being a second-story bathroom, it's probably sitting in the plywood decking.
Can I ask you a question, Mike? Because Allan, I've been fully triggered at this moment.
Oh, yeah.
If you had to estimate, when do you think this house was built? What era was this house built? I'm already targeting the 70s, but
no, it's recent, probably 90s or 2000.
Here's my beef, Mike, because when you're telling me this, I don't know who. We're not naming names, Allan. We're staying neutral.
We're just talking about practices.
If the only thing keeping water from going inside your walls and down into your kitchen is a bead of caulk, it's not designed properly. I mean, the caulk it's there. It should, and plus, I'm not a fan of having that caulk being the being the barrier down there at the bottom. It seems to me this is a design flaw, right? I mean,
well, there's some simple fixes that a lot of people overlook. For example, setting an exterior door. A lot of guys will just set the door on the foundation, on the slab.
Yeah.
Well, before you set the door, if you put caulk under, on that, and then set the door on top, it will help prevent bugs from coming in.
Yep.
Well, there's a lot of things. Yeah, and then going back to the shower though, there should be. I don't know. We're probably getting in the weeds on this a little bit, but there should be a little ridge, right, Allan, that the tile or the side, whatever. I don't remember what.
Well, this is going to be the large marble wall covers, right?
Yeah.
These are going to be the large ones, right?
Yeah.
All right. The theory behind that was because of the surface area of the stone, most of the water would drain off and in.
Yeah.
And the problem is somebody gets to picking that caulk because in some of these, they didn't grout them.
Well,
So and I've actually seen some installed where they went in and put these panels up on the wall and got them up there and then went back and very caulked down inside of them. But that's not a grout.
But caulk is prone to mold and it can mildew and it can separate.
It will give up and the kids can pull it out and they can,
I'm really hacked off, Mike. Boy, this is really stupid design. I'm sorry. I'm just like, people, luckily you don't get that when you call Tri-State Interiors. No. These are well-engineered, well-designed, and well-constructed bathrooms and kitchens. And anyway, Mike, before we get out of
I visit the website, www.tristateinteriorsllc.com, or shoot me an email at mike@tristateinteriorsllc.com.
All right, absolutely. You're listening to Tool Talk Radio here on News Talk 98.9 The Roar of Memphis. I'm going to go calm down, Allan. Nothing hacks me off more than bad craftsmanship. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
I assure you, Lord Vader, my men are working as fast as they can.
Perhaps I can find new ways to motivate them.
News Talk 98.9, The Roar of Memphis.
He is an effective leader, Allan. I'll give him that. So,
gotta get the job done some days.
And welcome to Hour 2 of Tool Talk Radio, coming to you from the Brown Refrigeration Studios. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry, and Wood Turning, here with my buddy Allan Gilbreth from DarkOakMedia.com, and our pal Bud from Motor Mouse, who's taken over for the ailing Max today. Bud, we haven't heard from you at all today, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm here.
He's here. Okay. Well,
just
feel
trying to
free
keep keep the car on the road, so to speak.
There you go. Okay. Plus, I don't know that he's awake, Allan. He's not an early morning guy. So, anyway.
No.
You can call or text us and harass Bud on the Big M Roofing and Remodeling hotline at 901-683-0989. Or go to the Tool Talk Radio Facebook page and give us a like. And if you're just rolling out of bed and you're all upset because you missed all the dynamic discussion from our first hour of Tool Talk Radio, never fear. You know why, Allan? They can listen to any of our past shows at Spotify, right?
We are
among
portable
others.
And around the world. That's right. Go to Spotify, look up Tool Talk Radio, and while you're there, do a little fabrication for us and click on the 5-star and around the world. That's right. Go to Spotify, look up Tool Talk Radio, and while you're there, do a little fabrication for us and click on the 5-star review and give us a like.
Yeah, absolutely. Lie if you have to. Say make up good things about us if you need to. So, but Allan, earlier in the show, we had our buddy Mike Serapholian from Tri-State Interiors on, and he was giving us great advice about kitchen and bathroom remodeling. Then he triggered me with his 30 years of stupid with that really badly designed shower and leaking into the ceiling, and then I don't want to start talking about insurance companies or anything, Allan, but it sounds like they were really just doing a patch job. We don't know what moisture is in there, and I don't know.
Well, my advice would be, if you don't really get the issue, I promise you the issue is twice as big as you thought it was.
Yeah, water
is the enemy.
It does
water
not belong in your
be
ceiling. It does not belong, and so, because basically it sounded like there was a leak in the bathroom that should not have been leaking anyway. All that was preventing it was a bead of caulk.
Correct.
Design problem number one. And then the insurance company's solution was to just basically patch the popcorn ceiling. Well, I mean, let's face it, Allan. Let's discuss the proper way to fix this. First of all, you cut out the sheetrock, right? I mean, yeah, because
all right, is it stained or not? Is it dry or not? The other thing is, all right, the first thing that leapt to my mind looking at that is where did the water start and where did the water stop? Now, what is everything in between there?
Exactly.
Because this is where you get into molds and other issues, wood rot. This is a great way to wood rot. This is a great way to attract insects.
Yeah, this is a second floor. Don't forget, people, this is, gosh, I'm really getting upset, Allan. This is rafters.
Up,
These are things that are supporting your second floor. They don't need to be compromised, especially right beneath your bathtub, which holds hundreds and hundreds of pounds of weight.
Those things are not light, and let's face it, neither are we.
Right.
And so you're going to step into the shower. Well, that's one thing people forget is you have to calculate when you're bearing weight, the weight of a human. Case in point, I will throw a couple of friends under the bus. We were moving a trailer load of Wonderboard, or an exterior hardy board for doing this. And it's basically a board made out of concrete.
Yeah, it's
Now,
heavy.
the way the trailer is constructed, it's a little front heavy, and they didn't block it properly. So now the hitch is below the level of the vehicle. Now, your foot, when you got about 12,000 pounds of concrete laying in the trailer. Well, the thing is, you go get two of your larger friends, and you have them hang off the back end of it, and it lifts it up nicely, and you swing it around, and it blocks up beautifully.
I think I saw that on the Beverly Hillbillies.
You probably did. It's just a matter of using fulcrums. And as the one of the larger friends hanging off the back of it, and of course I loved everybody's telling me it wouldn't work. Worked fine. So, just you have to figure in these weights and weight bears. The other thing about a leak like that.
Yeah, I was wondering where you're going to get back to the leak.
A lot of times, but I'm back around there.
All right.
A lot of times, some of these things are really tiny and really slow.
Yeah, they may not
may not appear for months. However, stuff like wood ants have a tendency to find these things very easily. Dude, I got this line of ants going inside of my house.
Right.
And they were wood ants. And I'm looking at that and said, all right, well, they're not getting your kitchen or anything, are they? He goes, man, I don't know where they're going. And it's going, they have found a soft spot in your house.
They're going to get some water.
And they're going in and out. So don't be mad at the ants. The ants are trying to tell you, hey, you've got a leak somewhere in the building.
Yeah. Well, if you're in a situation like this, folks, here's my advice. The first thing I do, Alan, if I see a leak like that, I get a big bucket, get maybe a 5-gallon bucket, and then I get a screwdriver and I poke a hole right in the center of that stain. And water may come out. If it's going to come out, that's probably where it's going to leak out. Once you feel like the water's come out, of course, put drop cloths and plastic and everything down.
It's going to get messy.
Cut out. I don't know. Cut out a 1 square foot square out of it. If that, a 1 square foot square out of it. If that, and then just start, expanding out as needed. But
I generally go stud to stud.
Yeah, stud to stud. You need to get a fan in there. I'm not saying rip the whole ceiling out or anything, but don't just patch it and assume everything's hunky-dory because you do not want to trap moisture. That was my big thing.
Yeah, you don't want water sealed up in there.
Yeah.
So from beginning to A to B, that's the big thing is water is your enemy. Watch out for it. Keep up with it. And remember, as your house ages, sooner or later, you're going to be addressing this.
Yeah. So, all right. I'm glad I got that off my chest, Alan, because Mike really triggered me with that. And,
Well, it was an awesome story, and it's great advice.
And it's not an unusual story.
No.
We've seen it many times. So, but like we say, water, in this situation, water is the enemy. If you're thirsty, water is a friend, but I don't know. Imagine that. She's a big shot too over there with the West Tennessee Home Builders Association, so a good friend of the show as well. So we're going to talk to her and hopefully elevate the discussion.
Excellent.
You're listening to Tool Talk Radio here on News Talk 98.9 The Roar of Memphis. We'll be right back.
Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
Everything that has transpired has done so according to my design.
News Talk 98.9, The Roar of Memphis.
What? I was on a job site, Joe. I was on a job site. What are you looking at me like that
It's
for?
easy to tell when Bud is in the studio because the Star Wars rejoinders are flying heavily. And welcome back to Tool Talk Radio, coming to you from the Brown Refrigeration Studios. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry and Wood Turning. Here with my buddy Allan Gilbert from darkoakmedia.com and our pal Bud from Motormouth, who kindly stepped in for the ailing Max. Back next week. I think he wanted to sleep in for a change. I don't know. You can call or text us at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling hotline at 901-683-0989. And, of course, you can go to the Tool Talk Radio Facebook page. We advise that anyway. Even if you have nothing to say, go over there, give us a like.
Oh, yeah.
Share Tool Talk Radio with everybody. And, of course, if you missed any of our past shows, you can go... The links will be there, right? They're there. They're up at tooltalkradio.com. They're up on Spotify. So we're easy to find. Just Google
We're
us
kind of
and
hard
you'll
to
find.
miss now.
Yeah. And, Allan, speaking of Big M Roofing and Remodeling, let's talk about your roof because, isn't it supposed to rain later? Aren't we supposed to get some really nasty
we're
weather?
supposed to get a little more winter mix, so that roof just got real important.
Yeah. Jay is an interesting guy. He's accredited with the Better Business Bureau. He's a GAF master installer. He's accredited with Good Housekeeping, but also side in the installation side. But the interesting thing about Jay and one of the reasons you should call Jay is he was a former insurance agent. So the roof is such an interesting part of your home. Well, for one thing, it's really the most important part of your home. It protects everything. And, it's something, we talk about this too, Allan. The average homeowner might deal with a roof replacement or something maybe once or twice in their whole life. It's not something they're thinking about 24 hours a day, unlike our buddy Jay Hill. And if you're in a situation where you might need to replace your roof, wouldn't it be good to know if that's covered by your homeowner's insurance? Because sometimes it is. And it's a process. It's nothing you just pick up the phone and say, hey, dear homeowner's insurance, I've got a roof that needs to be done. You get in touch with your roofer first, and Jay can help you navigate that process. He can help. He actually makes it kind of fun, honestly. He's got homeowner's insurance. I've got a roof that needs to be done. You get in touch with your roofer first, and Jay can help you navigate that process. He can help. He actually makes it kind of fun, honestly. He's got a dynamic personality. Well, he shows up, and you feel like you're in good hands.
Well, there's nothing like working with a professional that loves what they do.
Yeah. And has a sense of humor about it.
Oh, yes. Well, you have to in this business. You absolutely have to.
Well, he's helped us. Full disclosure, he's replaced the roof at our house. And I've mentioned this before, too, Alan. Not only does it keep the water out, not only has it kept the squirrels out of my home, because I told you I've had a battle with that, it's lowered our utility bills.
Indeed.
And I've noticed it's a good, especially in the summer, it's a good $70 or $80 less every month because it's running cool. It's not storing up heat in my attic. It's going to last longer. And then, of course, the fact that these are, lifetime transferable warranties. Transferable warranties.
Indeed.
For your roofing system.
How's that for a real estate gotcha?
No kidding. So get in touch with Jay Hill. You can call him directly at 901-484-5645 or go to bigmroofingandremodeling.com. All right. Well, Allan, speaking of real estate, I don't know. I don't want to just pigeonhole her in one, our guest is she wears many hats.
Oh, good.
But I met Judith Bell at the Vesta Home Show last month, and I said she's an empowerment agent. I said, we got to bring this woman on the show. So, Judith, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll see if you're happy at the end of the show. I can't
you guys
promise
are great.
anything. So, Judith, we're gonna get to that in just a bit. An empowerment agent. That's going to be a tease because I think that's a really unique. You do have a beautiful business card too, and your husband's a professional photographer. I noticed because you're showing off his work. Your husband's a professional photographer. I noticed because you're showing off his work on the card, right? So. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's an interesting guy too, Allan. We might be bringing him on Geek Tank Radio.
Okay,
but
Al,
we'll talk about him. So Judith, you're heavily involved with the Vesta Home Show, and in particular, we had the designer from Fizzy Friday. That's the name of the home. That was one of the homes that were featured, and you worked on that home as well, right?
Absolutely. It was a tremendous experience being a part of the Vesta Home Show. It's been going on for several years now. And I think this is one of our most successful shows, drawing in over 20,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty popular. People will book a hotel and spend the night. And this is just something that they do every single year and they won't miss.
No, and you're helping the local economy. Well, if you're listening from outside of Memphis and maybe you don't know what the Vesta Home Show is, it's usually in the late fall, early.
This was a little different this year, having it in December and having the decorations because of COVID issues, supply line issues. We had to push it off, but it was a fantastic show. People are not going to miss it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so the Vesta Home Show is really unique. Basically, you take a neighborhood, you could say, or a little cove or something, and they build homes right there. And these are beautiful, state of the art. I mean, these are really nice properties. And so people show up and they basically they get to admire the craftsmanship, but also it gives them ideas for what they might want to do to their home, right? It's all state of the art.
This is the show to go to steal the good ideas.
Yeah, and that's what it's there for. We're featuring 5 top builders, 5 designers. They're coming together and they're showcasing the latest and the greatest in home building. And so many people are either wanting to build or they're in the middle of and the greatest in home building. And so many people are either wanting to build or they're in the middle of designing their home and remodeling, and they just come out in droves, their notepads, their cameras, taking pictures, getting ideas of what they can do in their home to bring it up to date.
Yeah, it's great. You walk in and for example, you walk in to a home and there's you can either pick up a sheet or there's like several business cards and it's right there and it'll tell you it's really well organized. It'll tell you, okay, this is the person that did the plumbing. This is the person that installed the
all
home
the
alarm
vendors
system.
are on display.
Right, with their contact info. So you walk out of there. It's a great place for resources
Yes, absolutely.
and networking and everything. So, but it's also a competition, right? So, I mean, tell us about that angle because that's where it gets interesting. So.
Yes, of course, because everyone wants to win, right? Because they're assigning different categories and you can win different categories. For instance, best of outdoor living space.
Hey, do we have any applause there, Bud? Can we? Okay.
Yeah, Bud's over there going, yeah, we'll just play.
But congratulations. Well, I was
Thank
about to
you.
ask because they just did their awards last week, right? There was a big shindig for
that's awesome.
because you guys know how to party over there at the West Tennessee Home Builders Association, right?
Absolutely. We like to highlight all of our members and celebrate what they are doing and make sure that information is getting out into the community. And as home builders, this is one of the largest events that we have for showcasing our builders and vendors and what they can do and how they can help you.
Yeah, in a minute, I want to ask you about that too, because just organizing the Vesta Home Show sounds really, really daunting. But the name of the home you worked on is called Fizzy Friday, which people are probably thinking that's kind of an odd name, which it is, because usually you go to these. I've kept track, Judith. A lot of these homes over to the end of the cove there, and it was Fizzy Friday. And then I found out the homeowners who built this place, they know how to party, right? I mean,
yes, they do. Their home, some of the homes are purchased after the fact.
Right.
Theirs was purchased before the fact, and they were an integral part of the entire process. So Fizzy Friday, although I don't know all the details, is a personal story to them.
Oh, we know that because we had the designer Meredith Fernandez on,
that's
because
right.
you walk in, Allan, and the first thing you walk into the den, you see a pool table. I'm
Right.
like, okay, that's all right. That's interesting.
That kind of
cute.
sets the tone
Right.
for the house right
Exactly.
there.
There's a bar. There's a lot of things showcased, and you're like, gosh, this would be a great house to entertain at.
And that's
Well,
what people would say, hey, this is the party house, or this is the man cave. And
Right.
because really unique features that they had their home theater on the first floor as opposed to the second. They wanted all the fun, all the activities floor as opposed to the second. They wanted all the fun, all the activity on the first floor, and they accomplished that.
Yeah, well, because what she said was I don't want to speak out of school, but I believe that the quote was, on Fridays, the wives get together and drink champagne, and then the men all go out back, and I think they play softball with the kids or something. I don't know, but Fridays is the day to party.
The day was when the bubbles were.
There were some libations going on.
There were some fizzy drinks going on, as I believe the explanation went.
Yeah, and you did have I like the way that home connected, it connected from it seamlessly connected from the outdoors to the inside. They had a nice big open.
It was continuous party inside, party outside.
Right.
Let it flow.
Yeah. So if people want to look at the homes that were featured on the Vesta Home Show, how do they do that, Judith?
It's still up on the Vesta Home Show website or the West Tennessee Home Builders Association on our Facebook and on our website.
Okay, cool. Well, I want to ask you about that because the Vesta Home Show, like we said, it's an institution out here. How many years have they been doing this?
Well over 20 years, I believe.
Yeah, but okay. We sit there and we say, yeah, so you look at some houses that are just built. Well, imagine if you had to organize this, Allan. We organize a convention once a year at a hotel, which to me, that's a daunting task. Imagine having to build homes, the logistics, and you do this in less than a year, right? I mean.
Okay, well, I'm not going to take the credit for this. I'm going to lay it at the feet of the ladies at the West Tennessee Home Builders Association that is spearheaded by Cadet. They work tirelessly for hours before, during, and afterwards to make the show a success. And for the 2022 show, I have the honor of sitting on the committee for the Vesta Home and contributing because it's definitely one of the highlights of our community.
Oh, absolutely. And they, it is a great organization. If you're in the trades, I encourage you to reach out to the West Tennessee Home Builders Association. It's a really nice, it's great for networking. They know how to party. They have a lot of fun, but also it is a great resource if you're looking for, if you're looking for tradespeople and just people that know their stuff. And it's like we said, Allan, networking is of real value.
Well, there's so many ideas that you might have thought, it would be nice if, but you never really took it any further. And these are things you don't see at the big box store.
Yeah.
This is a living home, lined up, designed.
And you get to see if it's effective.
And the biggest thing is somebody's going to live here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Very cool. We're going to continue this discussion because it's a lot of fun. And we also want to find out about this being an empowerment agent because it's a lot of fun. And we also want to find out about this being an empowerment agent. Very interesting. You're listening to Tool Talk Radio here on News Talk 98.9 The Roar of Memphis. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
I made my first chair when I was 5, but the quality of the wood was wanting.
News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis.
You know, that guy.
so Joe, how was that chair you built at 6?
Okay, but he said he built a chair at 5, but the wood was wanting. Shouldn't he have gotten some new wood? And,
well, he was only 5.
All right, I'll cut him some slack. We're on Swan. I don't know. Anyway, welcome back to Tool Talk Radio, coming to you from the Brown Refrigeration Studios. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry, and Wood Turning, here with my buddy Allan Gilbreth from darkoakmedia.com and our pal Bud behind the glass, who's pitching in for the ailing Max, who is not here. And, of course, we've got our special guest, Judith Bell, who, among other hats that she wears, she works with the West Tennessee Home Builders Association, but she's also she's also deeply involved with organizing the Vesta Home Show, but she's also an empowerment agent. So we're gonna discuss that in a second. Before we do, Allan, okay, what is going on with darkoakmedia.com this week? There's always something happening.
Well, we've got a lot of good stuff going on right now. First off, the latest episode of CC Spotlight has gone up at Geeky Side TV, geekysidetv.com on Roku. So Scott J. Carroll continues his entertainment bent across the country. If you haven't seen him before, he's a very funny comedian from New Orleans via New Jersey, or New Jersey via New Orleans, however that worked. And, of course, the big hit right now is it came from the internet.
Has there ever been any ugly ramifications of that? Have they had to run off camera?
No, not so far. But there have been some ugly looks. So it's very, very humorous.
No allergic reactions? Or
No. We're very careful about that. So they can go to darkoakmedia.com or geekysidetv.com and check out the new shows.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, Allan, off the air, I noticed, okay, Bud, we have a little drinking game here on Tool Talk Radio. Anytime Allan diverts the conversation to talk about food, you have to take a shot. I know it's first thing in the morning. Drink a mimosa. How's that?
Yeah.
Off the air, you were, we're sitting here trying to, Bud and I are trying to organize the show notes. We're trying to keep things on track. And you and Judith wouldn't stop talking about, barbecuing ribs or something, seconds before we go on the air, distracting our guests. So.
Memphis is a bad place to be a chicken, a pig, or a catfish. Is all I got to say.
Judith wouldn't stop talking about, barbecuing ribs or something, seconds before we go on the air, distracting our guests. So.
Memphis is a bad place to be a chicken, a pig, or a catfish. Is all I got to say.
Anyway, so that counts, folks. Take a shot, because even off air, Allan cannot stop distracting people with his food talk. So, anyway, Judith.
We all love food.
Okay, after the show, folks. So, hey, Judith, I met you at the Vesta Home Show last month.
Yes, sir.
And it was a lot of fun. And I met your husband, too, who's a great photographer. He was set up. He does really beautiful artwork. And so
William Lawrence. Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk to William maybe on Geek Tank, because he's also a hardcore geek, Allan.
Oh, yeah.
So he knows his sci-fi. So we'll talk to him. But I picked up your card, Judith, and it said empowerment agent, which really caught my attention. And we had a fun conversation about that. And so I said, let's do this on the air. So tell us, what exactly do you mean by being an empowerment?
So you have probably over 3,000 real estate agents. 3,000 real estate agents here in the Memphis area. Mm-hmm. So how does one distinguish themselves? And I came up with empowerment agent, because that is what I like to do. Purchasing a home is probably one of the largest financial purchase that people will make in their lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
But they need the information. So it is my job to give them the information that they need that empowers them to make a decision to bless their family so that they can live a blessed life. It could be so overwhelming. You get online and you see all this information. But when you go to an empowerment agent like myself, I help to distill that information and put the power now in your hands so you can feel confident in making a decision.
That's wonderful, because it is a little to home before. There's a lot of terms that maybe you've never seen before.
Yes,
there's a lot of legal documents, and there's a whole lot of why do you need to know that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the market changes, and of course, we know what's going on in the market today. You put a house on the market, 24 hours later, it's sold, and sometimes even for more than what they were asking for. So
significantly
it's not like,
more, and you have multiple people lined up and ready to purchase the same home. So we often find ourselves in multiple offer situations on a regular basis.
Yeah, so I mean, you do that, you throw that into the mix, and then we go through something like 2008. There's all sorts of. It's never stagnant. There's always a different
changing
situation. So I like the notion of empowering people because it's like you say. Well, for one thing, this is information we don't think about. Like talking about roofs earlier, some people might only move or buy a home in their life, or maybe 2 or 3 times, and that's about it. So they're not thinking about all the different laws that have changed, and all the different scenarios. So, but I don't know. It's a good hook. The empowerment agent's very cool, Allan. So.
Okay, so I always love my question here. What is the one thing you wish somebody knew before they called you? What is that one tidbit that would just let you go, all right, here we go. We're ready to start?
That's a good question. The thing that comes to my mind is that they don't have to try to figure out where to start. Start with your real estate agent. She's going to help you bring all these different components and vendors together. Because someone will call and say, I don't know where to start with financing. I can help you there. Excellent. When does an appraisal come into play? What is Earnest money? Well, start with financing. I can help you there. Excellent. When does an appraisal come into play? What is Earnest money? Well, your real estate agent's going to have those answers.
Yeah. So get a pro first.
That's right.
Don't
try to fix that roof first.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Get a pro first.
Same
thing in real estate. Get a pro first.
Yeah, what it's reminding me of, too, Judith, is, okay, we were talking to our buddy Mike Serapholian earlier. Okay, if you're remodeling your kitchen, don't call Mike and say, hey, in 2 weeks I want to start this, project, because that's not how it works. Call well in advance. Give yourself lots of prep time. Well, most people, I would think, have some sense of, okay, next year we're going to be moving. Well, call Judith right now. Don't wait till 2 weeks before it's moving time, right? Get the process laid out, and you'll make informed decisions down the road.
Exactly. Because one of the things that people sometimes run into problems with, just like Joe was saying, we wouldn't do this a year from now. Well,
get the process laid out, and you'll make informed decisions down the road.
Exactly. Because one of the things that people sometimes run into problems with, just like Joe was saying, we wouldn't do this a year from now. We'll call later. Call now, because there may be some issues with your credit that will take 6 months to a year to fix. So let's find out about that now, not when you're all excited and you think you're going to be in a home in the next 30 to 60 days, but your credit needs 6 months to repair.
Yeah, and then there's always those last minute things that happen at a closing, right? I mean, there's always some sort of drama, or there's some sort of, forms didn't show up, or some change was issued, or some inspector found something.
Not with me.
Okay, well,
we're going to get you to closing on time.
When you're ill prepared, that's the kind of stuff
that's true.
I've seen those types of that type of drama. Well, hey, Judith, how do people get in touch with you if they need an empowerment agent?
They can reach me. I'm with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Taliesin Realty. My number is 901.
Judith Bell, the empowerment agent. I don't know, somehow it sounds like a superhero or something. So
got your attention.
Yeah.
I'll fly in and fix your real estate issues.
There you go. And we're going to bring you a must-have item of the week, too. It's a lot of action in our final segment, Allan. You're listening to Tool Talk Radio here at News Talk 98.9 The Roar of Memphis. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
Salt water will warp the wood, so Keep your tears in your eyes where they belong.
News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis.
Allan, what if you built something that's so beautiful that it brings you to tears? I mean, is that unmanly behavior?
Yeah, crying a cloth.
Okay. All right. Ron Swanson, he speaks in absolutes, and we know what Obi-Wan Kenobi says about that. Anyway, we're getting way too in the weeds. And welcome back to Tool Talk Radio, coming to you from the Brown Refrigeration Studios. I'm Joe here with my buddy Allan Gilbreth from darkoakmedia.com and our pal Bud behind the glass sitting in for the ailing Max, who will be back with us next week, and our special guest Judith Bell, who is an empowerment agent, among other things, and is also deeply involved with the West Tennessee Home Builders Association and is one of the organizers of the Vesta Home Show. So you can call or text us at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling Hotline at 901-683-0989. And, of course, we invite you to go to the Tool Talk Radio Facebook page and give us a like. And if you miss any of our past show, or if you miss any of Tool Talk Radio, you can listen to any of our past shows on Spotify, which is the platform I recommend. It's really easy to use. You can subscribe so you get a notification every time we post a new episode, and it's a lot of fun. And while you're there, give us a 5-star review and make up a bunch of nice things to say about us, because the algorithms will thank you. So, hey, Allan, fun talking with Judith. Before we get to that, though, I have some self-serving information that I need to pass along to everybody. If you have if you need a deck or a pergola or a patio cover, or really, Judith, anything made of wood for the outside of your home, you can give me a call. Okay. That's what I do. I love, and if people are saying, well, it's the winter time, so I'll call you in the spring. No. Call right now. I like working in the winter. It's much easier to stay warm than it is to stay cool when it's 95 degrees out in August. So I like these outside projects all year, and that way when the spring arrives, you'll be all set to entertain on your new screened-in porch or whatever other project, you've cooked up. So give me a call at 901-921-7105, or you can visit my website, thorshomes.com. And also, just a reminder, if you're a contractor out there, if you're involved in the trades at all, we're continuing to assemble our team here. Contractor out there, if you're involved in the trades at all, we're continuing to assemble our team here, Allan. We like to have experts in every field of home improvement, and we'd like to bring you on board Tool Talk Radio. So get in touch with me directly. You can call me at 901-921-7105. Well, we've had a lot of interesting conversation today, but before we continue our conversation with Judith, it behooves us to get to our must-have item of the week, Allan.
All right.
I mean, we would be shirking our duties if we didn't do that. People, Judith, we have millions of people out there wondering, what is our must-have item of the week going to be? Yeah, anyway. But, Allan, tell people what I'm holding up. I really
You're
built
holding
that up
up
into
one
something.
of my favorite tools of all time.
Right.
A micro screwdriver.
Is that the name? That's what we're going to call it.
Yes. The mini screwdrivers, micro screwdrivers, it's anything that is basically under 3 inches.
Okay.
They're the little small ones. You just get them little. You are trapped in a piece of equipment, hanging half upside down, working underneath something. This is a true story, Judith. She's looking at me like, what?
Oh, yeah.
And you discover that you have to wedge something up that tiny little bit, or scooch something over, or line up a hole. These micro screwdrivers are amazing. The other thing is, you always get some little piece of equipment that has that odd-sized screw in it.
Right, and they might have all the rest of the screws are normal size, and then there's that one little corner where
in the corner. You're exactly right, Joe.
And you can't. There's no substitute for it. You can, and I remember the old days where you might even take a knife from the kitchen drawer and hope you can wedge that thing in there,
get it in there
instead,
just right, yeah,
and just get the tip of it. But it really
come a long way, baby.
Yeah, but these, one thing is it's not going to take up a lot of space in your toolbox,
No.
and or your box, and or your drawer, wherever you keep your
purse.
tools. Or your purse, exactly. So it's cheap too. These things are like $3, or if that.
They're not going to set you back financially.
Man, that's good to know. I may have to start including one of those little guys in my closing gifts I give to clients.
Oh yeah, give them a little pack. They come in these nifty little packets. You can, because it'll have a whole variety. It'll have ones that are small enough to fix your eyeglasses when the stems come loose or whatever. But these are great, and these are we always like to showcase the things that are easy to overlook because you might go to the power. I'm all about going to the power tool lane, and I want all the latest gadgets and chainsaws and all that. But honestly, in our day-to-day life, this is the kind of stuff you're going to use more often than not. So.
Working in a commercial setting, especially working around medical equipment, the most used tool in my holster is the micro flathead.
Yeah, and Judith, he's not kidding. He's all about. He has a cordless drill, and
he believes in being prepared, right?
I hate walking back and forth. Mm-hmm. It just makes me crazy. I am a huge proponent of be honest. What are you going to use time and time and time again, and just keep that on you?
Yeah, but it gets a little carried away when you have the quick draw. You're pulling out the cordless drill from the right. You got a bandolero
probably
sash.
Looks really cool.
Yeah.
Well, all right, just because I have one set up as a screwdriver and one set up as a drill, you get all jealous.
Okay. Anyway, that's our must-have item of the week. And trust us, folks, you can't go wrong. If you buy this, I don't think you're going to regret it.
No, you got to have them.
$3. Give me a break.
You
If
gotta
that,
have them.
honestly, they might even be cheaper. So, well, Judith, hey, it's been a lot of fun having you on the show, but I did want to I wanted to circle back to something we talked about earlier with the Vesta Home Show. I wanted to circle back to something we talked about earlier with the Vesta Home Show. Can you give us any behind the scenes type of thing? Because I'm just thinking of the drama involved in. The clock's ticking, and really, you guys put these things together very quickly.
How do you guys pick the neighborhood? What's happens behind the scenes there?
Okay, that's definitely a question for the builders.
Okay.
But I'm kind of working a little bit on that process now for the 2022, and it's kind of a crazy process. We know that when we stay closer to in town, we get a lot greater turnout than if we go way outside of town. I don't know if people think it's just too far to go, but it involves several people, and it does take some time, and we're working on that right now, as a matter of fact. Okay. But you need to holler at Darren Halford.
Involved at the front end, but then she's also involved throughout the process especially when they start seeing paints. And she was telling us about some drama with a wallpaper hanger and things like that. But then she told us something I was really stunned by. I said, so when do you start decorating the home? When do you start putting the furniture in? I assumed it would be at least a month before. She said, it was 4 days before the show or something, right?
You should have seen all of us working. It was crazy. She led a team of ladies. As a realtor, I got in there and I helped hours. It was hours of work and lots of people. We were like little busy ants.
She said a few cars got a couple of dents in there. It was like Mad Max, right?
But when it's all together, you wouldn't even realize what all went on because it all looks so beautiful. It just looks like maybe someone snapped their fingers and made it happen. But a tremendous amount of work.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, like I said, Allan and I organize things. So that's the first thing I think about. I'm always fascinated.
Their fingers and made it happen. But a tremendous amount of work.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, like I said, Allan and I organize things. So that's the first thing I think about. I'm always fascinated with the logistics of something and how something comes about. And this just, I don't know, man. I would not want this on my shoulders. It seems very daunting, man.
It's great people with a real passion for this. Real estate's my thing. I'm passionate about real estate. I love all aspects of real estate. And I love helping people. That is what I do. So the entire time through the show, like I said, 20,000 people came through. And as I'm having conversations, I would say to people, listen, if you want to build, buy, or sell, call Judith Bell.
Oh, there we go. Nice tagline. So is that on a T-shirt? I think you need that.
You know what? I think you're right. I may want to look into that.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm passionate about helping people.
It's just such a big, such a big jump. People finally get their. There's just so much to it. And then you have other people. I've got a dear friend that is, I like to call the Dirt Addict.
Okay.
Because she's
interesting.
always looking for that next little piece of property that maybe needs to be cleaned or rehabbed. So, I see both spectrums of this. I see the people that, we're doing this one time and one time only. And I see
that's what they think.
Oh, I know. And I was looking at them and go, that's cute.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
Even with building, I always tell people you end up building 2 or 3 times before you get it just right.
Well, because once you've done the process, now it's not so scary.
And then you have to live in the home, and you realize maybe some features that you left out, or maybe some features that were unnecessary. Like, I could have made this whiter, or I wish I had added this, or maybe not have that. So, next house.
Well, another thing to remember is that also 10 years, you're a new person.
Yeah.
You have new goals in your life. You have new occupational pressures in your life. You're at a different stage with your children. So your life, and I always tell people, remember this. This is perfect today. Or this is as good as you can do today.
Allan, yes.
But now you got to think in terms of the next 5 years, 10 years, where are you going to be at?
Right.
Yeah, and that's all the stuff that's on your shoulders too, right, Judith? Because, I mean, if somebody, sometimes maybe people will show up and they need help, and maybe you have to point them in a new direction. Maybe their eyes are fixed on one type of home, and you have to say, well, have you thought about what's going to be happening in, like Allan said, 5 years from now or something? So
right, that's definitely one of the things that we do as a real estate agent. You sometimes feel like a counselor / psychologist, right? I always want to help them to be realistic, because they come in with ideas like, I want to do this, that, when it comes to building.
Right.
And it's like, okay, let's take a look at what the budget dictates.
Yes.
yeah, that's kind of always the bottom line. I hate to say it, but that's.
And they always go over. They tell you one price. You better believe it's going to be 20% or more.
I will go way back to my appliance days and tell you, it's hard to add on, but you're never going to take it away.
Yeah.
If they've seen it
So
and they
true,
want
Allan.
it, they will dig those heels in, and I absolutely must have that stone-lined pizza oven, and it's just, you just might as well build the kitchen around it, because you're not going to get an option.
Food reference, bud. Add that to the list. So, yeah, well, it's true.
He's good at that.
And technology's changed. New features come. I don't remember seeing a lot of pizza ovens in homes.
We were walking through it together, and both looked at that and went,
Okay.
And what about smart homes, the technology that are in homes today?
Home theaters, the whole thing. It's
that house almost doesn't need you anymore. It really doesn't.
Yeah, smart homes, all of it.
You can run it from the moon.
And it's just getting more interesting, and so there's a lot to navigate. So Judith, once again, before we get out of here today, tell us how do people get in touch with Judith Bell?
Judith Bell, your empowerment agent. Okay, you can reach me at 901-466-4046. I'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. And, we're going to be, speaking of hearing from people, we're going to be starting to do a lot more with the West Tennessee Home Builders Association, Allan. So stand by for that. It's Tool Talk Radio continues to evolve. We don't let the grass grow under our feet. We keep moving forward and quit rolling your eyes at me, Allan.
It's a dynamic business, Joe. I mean,
we keep moving forward and quit rolling your eyes at me, Allan.
It's a dynamic business, Joe. I mean, every trip to the big box store is a new technology and a new adventure.
Yeah, absolutely. So stay tuned week after week, because we'll be bringing it to you here on Tool Talk Radio. So, but Judith, it was great having you in, and consider yourself a friend of the show. We got to do this again.
Thank you, guys. I have loved being here with you.
Send your husband over here.
I will.
I will. Geek Tank Radio. We're gonna have some fun with him, Allan. He knows his stuff. He's gonna be, You better get your Battlestar Galactica references.
Oh, I'm ready for that one.
And also stay tuned, because later today you're going to be able to listen to Geek Tank Radio. It's going to be a lot of fun. But it's time to get out of here. So on behalf of my friends Allan Gilbreth and Bud behind the glass and our friend Judith Bell, I'm Joe Thorderson. Thanks for listening to Tool Talk Radio, and we'll see you next week.